Hey gamers, it's GE, and today on GameEpic Top 10 Best New PS5 Games of 2024. Starting off, Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade is played from a third-person perspective. Combat focuses on grasping the attack patterns of enemies and countering with precise timing. Eve's beta gauge is filled by parrying and evading in combat. The beta gauge is spent to use skills such as piercing super armor and enemy combo interruption. Eve also has a burst gauge filled through successive parries and combos, which can be used to activate buffs and powerful attacks. Next is Vampire: The Masquerade, Bloodlines 2. Vampire: The Masquerade, Bloodlines 2 is presented mainly from the first-person perspective. Before the game begins, players create a vampire character, and can select a clan background that informs their abilities. The game takes place in Seattle, where the player may explore and interact with non-player characters in a variety of ways. The player will be able to ally themselves with different factions, and deal with enemies in a variety of ways. As a vampire, the player character needs blood to survive, and can feed on humans. Next is Light No Fire. Light No Fire is a game about adventure, building, survival, and exploration together. Set on a fantasy planet the size of Earth, it brings the depth of a role-playing game to the freedom of a survival sandbox. A truly open world, with no boundaries at a scale never attempted before. A massively varied and dense planet filled with immersive biomes, unique enemies, and valuable resources to discover. Carve a life together. Meet players from across the globe, build a life, explore and survive together. Construct persistent buildings and communities, or strike out alone to discover the world for others. Next is Warhammer 40,000, Space Marine 2. Warhammer 40,000, Space Marine 2, the player engages enemies using a mix of both melee and ranged combat from a third-person point of view. The player controls Titus, a lieutenant of the Ultramarines chapter. Titus is accompanied by fellow Space Marines Charon and Gadriel throughout the campaign. The game utilizes ranged combat when facing weaker enemies such as Tyrannid Gaunt's whilst hack and slash combat is required when fighting more powerful enemies such as the Tyrannid Warrior that can block incoming projectile damage. Players can parry an opponent's attack, though some hostile attacks are unblockable and therefore, must be dodged. Additionally, the player can fight alongside Imperial Guard foot soldiers controlled by AI throughout sections of the game. Next is Black Myth: Wukong. Black Myth: Wukong is an action RPG rooted in Chinese mythology. The story is based on Journey to the West, one of the 4 great classical novels of Chinese literature. You shall set out as the destined one to venture into the challenges and marvels ahead, to uncover the obscured truth beneath the veil of a glorious legend from the past. A world unseen, where new sights rise with every stride. Enter a fascinating realm filled with the wonders and discoveries of ancient Chinese mythology. As the destined one, you shall venture through breathtaking landscapes in the classic tale of Journey to the West, creating a new epic of uncharted adventures. Next is Lost Soul Aside. Lost Soul Aside is an action role-playing video game developed by Ulti-Zero Games and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment. The war ended 10 years ago, the unknown monsters then appeared. Khazar accidentally got combined with an ancient race arena. Then they got on the journey to seek for the mysterious crystals with their own purposes. This is not for saving the world, just for saving myself. Next is Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown. On Hong Kong Island, where dreams become reality, Radiant has created new standards of luxury. This little-known but highly influential organization has invited its members to compete in an extraordinary competition, the Solar Crown. Few know what the group's motives are, but it's clear what they value: prestige, a love of cars, and competition. In Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown, you get to live a unique lifestyle and social life never seen before in a video game. This brand new game in the Test Drive Unlimited series retains the DNA of previous games while introducing a contemporary vision of the multiplayer racing genre. Next is Metal Gear Solid: Snake Eater. Metal Gear Solid: Snake Eater brings unprecedented new graphics, immersive stealth action gameplay and sounds to its riveting story as players once again return to the world of Metal Gear. Rival nations are secretly developing weapons that could threaten the future of mankind. Deep in the jungle, an elite soldier must combine stealth with survival to infiltrate the enemy and stop a weapon of mass destruction from triggering the largest full-scale war the world has ever seen. Next is Dragon's Dogma 2. Dragon's Dogma 2 is an action role-playing game played from a third-person perspective. In the game, the player takes on the role of a character called the Arisen, a hero marked by a dragon who they must defeat, all while exploring the world they live in, taking on quests, and fighting monsters, in the process being caught up in a geopolitical conflict between two kingdoms. To assist in this, the Arisen relies on allies called pawns, set in a seamless open world that is 4 times larger than the map in the first game, and is a parallel world to that of the previous title. The game world is split between 2 major kingdoms, Vermund and Battle, populated with humans, the cat-like Beostrens, and elves. Last is Rise of the Ronin. Rise of the Ronin allows players to create a custom character. Combat features a wide array of weapons common during the Boshan War, such as katanas and various Boshan War firearms. The game features story choices at key moments, allowing players to side with or fight against various non-player characters, affecting the story. Historic cities Yokohama, Kyoto, and Edo can be explored, as well as areas in the countryside. The player can traverse with various means, such as a horse, grappling hook, or glider. The game also features the ability to swap between 3 difficulties, as well as a 3-player cooperative multiplayer mode. Let me know if you found a couple of games to play, or if this video made you laugh or smile. If that's the case, a thumbs up and subscription would be a lot. It's been GameEpic. See you guys very soon.